Honorable Rosemary Mbabazi, Minister of Youth, Republic of Rwanda, honorable ministers from Rwanda and across the continent here present, Excellency Mr. Eunjung Kim, Ambassador of the Republic of Korea, Excellency ambassadors and representatives of the diplomatic community, captains of industry and private sector who are present, colleagues from the UN family, so proud to see all of you here embracing the Youth Connect model, representatives of the civil society organizations and the press, and of course, the youth who are in the room, the future of Africa and the world, distinguished delegates and participants, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. Before I proceed, I just want to say to all who are here from Rwanda, Muriwe Neza. Good afternoon, bonjour, habari, nyangadef. Ndewono. Your Excellency, President Kagame, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, I feel really honored to stand before you at this moment to witness the third edition of Youth Connect Africa, to deliver also on behalf of the United Nations Development Program Administrator, Mr. Achim Steiner, the statement from UNDP and the UNDP family. And I bring you, Mr. President, warm greetings from Mr. Steiner, who wishes us, all of us, success at this gathering. Excellency, our deepest and most profound gratitude really goes to you and to the government and people of Rwanda for the demonstrated commitment to upscaling and strengthening the Youth Connect model across the continent of Africa, and for hosting yet another comprehensive Youth Connect Africa Summit. This is not just a routine yearly event. This is a global movement. And I don't know how many of you walked into this room and got goosebumps. I did. It was quite the energy. Palpable. You could feel it. If you didn't feel it, you need to walk right out again. Because in this room, it's a convergence of hearts, of minds, of hope, of promise, of the possible, of optimistic Africa. In this room is the echo of can-do, of rejection of that which is dark and which diminishes what Africa and the African people represent. In this room is the spirit of defiance, represented in the force of youth and youthfulness. Mr. President, allow me to really recognize here your current Minister of Youth, Madam Mbabazi, who has been nothing but the mother of Youth Connect. And when you think of a mother never lets go of the child. A mother consistently nurtures, babysitting, and breathing confidence into the child as that child grows. Youth Connect is growing. Mama Mbabazi, you are a gift to humanity and to the next generation of African leaders. We thank you. Mr. President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this year Rwanda commemorated the 25th anniversary of the genocide against the Tutsi. 25 years on, this country experienced a horror that was unimaginable and almost unprecedented in human history, and which left the country almost completely destroyed. Today, Rwanda is a shining light and a beacon of hope for the rest of the continent and the world. Out of the ashes, Rwanda has emerged as an example of possibility, of hope, and of promise for Africa. We owe this in large measure to the courage, strong leadership, and competence of President Kagame and his government. We owe it to the resilience of the Rwandan people. Someone once told me that impossible is not a word in the Rwandan dictionary. And now, after 2 days in the country and traveling up country, I can see why. And today, I want to say to everyone, impossible should no longer be a word in the African dictionary. As I stand here today, Mr. President, and look at the thousands of young people from all over Africa and the world in front of us, I can't help but think that I am looking at a future of Africa that is bright. A future filled with possibilities, hope, a signal of a stubborn hope. As all of you are aware, each year, all analytical works on Africa's development context churn out lots of statistics on the challenges posed by the continent's youth bulge. However, as we borrow a leaf from your approach, Mr. President, I always advocate for us, for our focus more on how we can leverage the opportunities presented therein. Youth Connect represents one such important opportunity for us. If anyone ever had a doubt about the fate of this continent's future, I hope it is now erased from your minds. I take the lead is the motto of this year's summit. And I believe that if each of these creative, talented, smart, enterprising, restless, hungry, and thirsty youth in this room today were to leave with a commitment that says, I take the lead in creating the Africa we all want. If we all walk away from here believing in that possibility, we will own the 21st century, ladies and gentlemen. Africa will own the 21st century, and the future of development will be enacted on this continent. Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, we're aware that there are barriers ahead of us. The challenges that face the continent's growing youth population are complex and multidimensional, and they continue to persist, by the way. Africa remains the youngest continent in the world with a rapidly growing youth population that is expected to double by 2055. We do run the risk of not tapping into this demographic dividend because of only one thing: underinvestment in our young people. Across the continent, we are not investing enough in their education, in their health, in their technical and vocational skills, in their entrepreneurial development, and affording them the financial and non-financial resources to translate their potentials into productive and decent jobs. Crucially, also, more still needs to be done to help them develop more positive values and attitudes. This is something we as leaders and stakeholders must accept. And this year, ladies and gentlemen, I was so convicted at a personal level that as regional director for the Africa Bureau in UNDP, I made a decision, a call, that we will invest, we will trust the young people of Africa. And trusting them means that we invest substantially, financially. We invest in their talent, and we made a call with the Tony Elumelu Foundation, a private foundation, to sponsor 100,000 youth from the continent in the next couple of years with financial resources, not loans, but grants, as well as mentoring, nurturing, and access to networks and markets that will help them stand up for what they believe. Recently, I was in New York when the young Swedish environmental activist that someone referred to, Greta, called us out as leaders for failing her generation in the area of response to worsening climate change phenomenon. There is something she said that really captured my attention, and I quote, "You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words." Ladies and gentlemen, let this event not go down in history as one where we had empty words. Let every word that proceeds from this next 2 days be filled, be rich with promises that can be kept. Today we have the opportunity to do it differently. Today we have more than 25 ministers who are here responsible for youth from across the continent. Today we have leaders from youth organizations across the continent. We have the African Union. We have representatives from civil society. We have donors. We have everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, I am a Pan-Africanist myself, and I know. By the way, today that is not a dirty word. I think we should all embrace it. Without Pan-Africanism, I don't think Africa will make it. Harnessing these opportunities to their fullest potential will require inclusive and robust partnership with governments, and we're here to do our part. We would also really like to acknowledge Koika for trusting us with enough resources to continue to pursue this. We want to recognize, as already recognized, the UN agencies who are here and lifting this to the next level. We want to infect the entire continent with the bug of Youth Connect, and it is happening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to end with something that I believe everyone here in this room has a story. If there are 10,000 people in this room, there are 10,000 stories. And your journey began with one experience. Mine began when I was no more older than most of you here who are under 25. When somebody said to me, "Ahunna, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything." I took that to heart for the rest of my life, and that is why I stand here today. And if all of you young stars here would walk away from Youth Connect with no doubt about what you stand for, what your deep convictions are, you will not fail. If you walk away with that deep conviction of what you stand for, you will not fall for anything. Asante sana. Ndewo. Merci beaucoup. I thank you all very much.